What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to this album stream, play through radio show, video, whatever the fuck this is, thing. Yeah, we're going to play through all of Glue now, an hour or whatever it is before it's being released, and we're basically going to listen to all the songs and just talk about our experiences writing them, recording them, what the songs mean to us, anecdotes. It's going to be a good old time. First track, Everything is Ordinary.
I think it's important to talk about how the song sounded almost completely different when we demoed it, and then when we brought it to the studio, we kind of deconstructed it and then built the song around that beat, and it was the beat that ran continuously through the song, and that's kind of at the forefront of everything at the moment, which is really cool. It's like super punchy, all the electronics are there, and then
it's a really unique sound as well, isn't it? Like the actual mix of the kit is completely different to all the other mixes of the kits on the different songs.
Everything is
For those listening at home, this song, it was one of the earlier tracks that we wrote, maybe for the record, but until we got to the studio, it was a completely different song. And I actually can't even remember what it sounded like.
I can. I listened to it the other day.
It sounded like 21 Pilots or like a ballad.
It was kind of like, it felt kind of drum and bassy in a way.
Yeah. It had like a bit of
like two-steppy.
Was
Yeah.
it kind of slower though?
It was slower. Yeah.
By about 40 BPM or something.
The cool thing as well that I think the drum, obviously, like the drums are going to be talked about quite a bit, but like one of the cool things that I think we all loved was how Sapone went and kind of, it was just one microphone on the drum kit, wasn't it? And he took out everything else, so it was just like one microphone and just a distorted drum kit sound. Almost like
how many mics are there normally? Like 12 or something.
There's probably way more than that, isn't there?
Like
Yeah.
40.
40.
A million mics.
There's a lot of mics, yeah.
You want to talk about what the song's about at all?
It's just sort of like the header of the album, really. If you want to kind of dive into what all the themes of the songs are about, it's a bit of a rallying cry and sort of like an intro to everything. And I suppose it's about how we become very decent because of just so much just constant colour information and crisis flashing in your brain 24/7. Everyone has become a little bit numbed to everything. It feels like the world's constantly a little bit hungover and just a bit sort of but it kind of acts as a bit of a prologue to the record, I think. I'm stoked on and I read all the comments, so yeah, I suppose we should talk about that. Like, it was kind of polarizing. A lot of people didn't like it and stuff. Loads of people were saying like, I just fucking hate his vocals so much, and some of it was like, I know a lot of people think it's auto-tune, but actually it's not so basic, guys. It's actually quite complicated what they've done with the vocals. It's actually this and that. Well, it was just literally the auto-tune plugin cranked up to full. That's all that was. But I just thought it was really cool because the song was so like electric sounding. Like, it sounds like a dial-up connection, the whole song. And I thought that the vocals being that worked really well with it. So fuck you if you...
almost buried the vocals, weren't they?
Yeah, everything kind of sits in this like haze. It's pretty sick, but I can't wait to play that one live. I think that's going to be a really fun one.
The next track off the new album Glue is titled Ones and Zeros. I guess it's worth saying that this track actually nearly didn't make the record. And it was one that we were kind of like almost tricked into recording by Sapone. He kept
Sapone
saying,
and George.
Savone and Jord, yeah.
Tricking us
I'm,
into
I'm
it.
kind of proud of this song because I was the one out of all of us that was pushing for this song.
You
And-
believe it.
And Sapone was on, like, kind of pushing with me. And I'm just glad it made the cut because, like, I thought it was a sick song. I still think it's a sick song. And we made
What I will say,
it fits.
what I will say is, like, I think that it's my favorite second verse on the entire record. I don't know why. I just think it's just fucking sick. It's just so, like, groovy and it's just cool. Nice and electronic.
Great second verse. That's always been our strong
Second
suit. Or
verse, yeah.
whatever. Second verses.
We always start with the second verses because we know it's going to be good.
Yeah, we
But
just
I remember walking into the studio and we had like maybe a week left or something, and then Jordan's phone were like, "Oh, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate us or whatever." I was like, "Oh, why?" It's like, "Well, we got another song to write because we got it right here, and it was called Jackal or something, wasn't it, at the time?" Like
Well,
Jackal.
no, but we
Jackal.
actually had all the songs there. It was just in the
Pretty much, wasn't it?
It was just
There was a few ideas left, and there was one that I wanted to try, which was like a punk song, and then there was this, which was very different. Like I hated the old version of this song. I thought it was just like really weird and but we decided to go with this, and I took the verse vocals I was writing for that punk song, and they just like fit perfectly over the verses of this song. We were like, oh, there you go, because we had the chorus of this song already, didn't we?
It all came together in like a day, didn't it? Like George smashed out the drums in like an hour or something, or probably less. And then we
I
just,
don't think we've ever recorded a song as fast as that song before.
and I remember it just sounding really good, like straight away. It was strange.
It's quite a simple song. I think a turning point for me was were the vocals on it. I think yeah, like Henry said, we were trying to do that punk song, and then when those vocals just matched up perfectly, I think that was a big turning point. And then the lead guitars kind of darkened it up a little bit, and it just sounded like a great rock. Yeah, it sounded like a great rock song. Like, I don't know, it's super simple, and it's probably worth saying that I absolutely love that song now. I can't wait to play that live.
Yeah, look, you know, the industrial style breakdown that we added in as well, instead of just a normal breakdown after the bridge. So.
Yeah, a lot of experimental drum loops in that, which I think it really makes that its own thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely makes it a little bit more interesting, that section.
You're a star, you're the one. Thought I had a point to make, but I don't remember.
This song, I think, sits out from the rest on the record in a way, like sonically and even thematically. What do you guys think about that?
There's no other track really, apart from Brand New Kids, that maybe sounds like it on the record, which is, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like, it's a little bit more like major and a little bit, I guess, like a bit happier in a way, even though it's not. But you know, yeah, it's like an Oasis song, isn't it?
We kept describing it as the football song when we were writing it, because it sounds like you should play it over like montages of people scoring goals on like Soccer AM or something.
On the next FIFA soundtrack.
Soccer AM.
Soccer AM.
Tweet FIFA, and if you're watching
That's
this,
massive. We got
get it on 2021. I don't think this song necessarily like is a great representation of what Boston Manor is, but it was one of those songs that was written very organically. Like, it was literally a guitar demo, put these vocals on it, and then we were just away. Like, sometimes some of the songs we've written have been just Everests that have taken so long to battle, and you end up hating it because it becomes like this fucking nemesis that you constantly like rewriting it until it takes so long to get it right. And then some songs just write themselves, and this one was just one of those, I think. And we had loads of fun with it in the studio. Like the bridge and stuff, loads of that was totally improvised, and we just kind of went away with it, didn't we? Really?
Yeah, I would say it was probably one of the hardest ones to get sounding right in the studio sonically.
like guitar wise and stuff.
Yeah, like guitar wise, tonality wise. It was just, you know, I remember just coming into the studio again and just sitting there. We play what we kind of did the following days, and we saw we're like, oh, it's just not sounding right. It's not sounding right. And that was like one of the main focuses, wasn't it? That song, and it just took the whole time of being in the studio, the whole month we were there to actually get it sounding the way it had to sound. And I think we got there in the end, but I remember it being a bit of a struggle.
It was fine
tuning like constantly.
I think it's because that song's definitely more of like an indie track on the record, and I think like we were trying to chase indie guitars, and then we realized sort of towards the end that it wasn't actually that we needed for that song. We actually needed like still like quite balls to the wall heavy guitars for it, which is what we ended up with for the choruses and stuff.
I think that was exactly it. Yeah. And even though that the song is quite a simple song, there is actually a lot going on behind the scenes with that. I'd say there's still like your drum loops and acoustic guitars and pianos and synths and stuff.
Without all the loops and stuff, it's pretty just basic, normal rock drums, I guess.
Yeah.
Quite inspired by a lot of like, when we were demoing it, we were trying to get the sort of the vocals to sound quite dreamy with the guitars sort of still hitting a little bit and being a little heavier. We were listening to a lot of like shoegaze, like British 90s shoegaze and stuff, in terms of how that all kind of sits together.
Yeah.
Didn't end up being as dreamy as we talked about. It ended up like Ash said, being a bit more sort of heavy and balls to the wall. The next song is called Terrible Love.
Ooh.
I'm an oil stain on the world. I've given up the ghost. I'm lazy and I'm selfish and I've got no self-control. I'm becoming an idiot. Never really fit.
I think this is my favourite track on the record. When listening to it, I think it's one of the coolest songs we've written. Lyrically, it was like quite a personal song. I'm not a very heart on sleeve kind of lyricist. Well, I tried not to be too obvious with it because I get a bit sort of, I don't like being that honest sometimes. But this one was really, really honest in that respect. And I just kind of wrote a load of things that I really hate about myself and just kind of literally took it line for line, put it into this song. But I can't remember if the song even changed that much from the demos, but we really kind of got to this.
Completely like 360.
Yeah, no, I remember now.
Vocally it didn't.
Yeah, vocally was sick.
It had more pace to it. It wasn't like this kind of ballad. Because for ages we were talking about it not becoming this like power ballad song, and it kind of did, but in a cool way, I think.
So tell me you love me. Tell me I'm everything you want. Tell me you need me. Give me everything you got. Tell me you love me. Tell me I'm everything you want. Tell me you need me. Give it everything you got. So give it all.
What I do remember was that song was another one that took so long to get right, and it was kind of like the way it turned out was a result of us playing it live in the studio and jamming it like late at night as well. Like it seemed to be only late at night that we'd start working on that song, and I think that kind of gave it the mood, that kind of moodiness as well. You know,
Part of me felt like it was that song that no one really wanted to work on. Like we were like, oh well, let's do this instead, and then eventually we kind of had to like face that song because it started off so different. And I think for about 4 days in the studio we had no idea like where we wanted that song to go. We tried loads of different routes. We were like, oh, let's make this song sound like The Cure, let's make this song sound like this like cool like power ballad or whatever, and like we kind of ended up sort of combining, I feel like, all of like probably like 7 different ideas into one song, and it kind of, I think it just turned out pretty great.
Yeah, I quite like the drums on the song. very simple.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Like this, yeah. If you want to talk more about that, but I personally really like the drums. Just like dry and simple.
Just dry and simple, and like just having the 16th notes just complement the song so well. Obviously, with the added like little flares and added little like kind of China ozone crashes throughout it. Like, yeah, I just wanted. I'm glad that I got like some kind of simple 16ths all the way through, because I know everything is ordinary has all the same thing all the way through, but that has a different vibe. This is more like soft and simple and quite technical, because you got to get all the ghost notes and the hits on the hats quite like prominent.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that in the chorus especially they come to the forefront as well. So.
I remember Ash working on that song literally next door in that room for like days.
Yeah, that's why I call it Studio C. That's what I meant. Tasha. Remember? Studio C. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about New Jersey. I was like, what?
Yeah. No, this is Studio A.
This is
Tasha's
B.
Yeah, that's Studio B. Tasha's room, Studio C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once we kind of, it's pretty much there when I was working in Studio A. Sounded pretty good. Yeah, quite. We ended up using a lot of the original stuff that was on the demo and the actual song, which is pretty good. We just kind of ran it, like reamped it all, and sort of added a few more effects and stuff, like a grind organ, I think, was one of the effects and stuff like that. But it's literally one of my favourite songs. It is my favourite song on the record, I think.
It's one of mine as well. Very Radiohead inspired. I mean, if you couldn't already tell. I think it's one of the coolest songs we've written. It's obviously very thematically deep and quite a dense song. I don't think we really need to go too much into that now, because if you literally read any interview we've done for the past like 2 months, it's all been about that track. So there's loads of info about what that song's about and the story behind that song in the Kerrang article that we did, Rock Sound, AP, all of that shit. So go check that out. It's all on our social media. But yeah, it's a really important song to me. And I know it is for everyone, but I think it's definitely a bold track for us to write. It's very electronic.
I think the reaction to that song as well was definitely. I kind of expected more people to not like it, just because it's so different from what we've normally done. But like, I think it is pretty much just positivity across the board, and I know like the message is really strong as well. Yeah, a lot of people love that song, and same here.
Yeah.
This next song is Only One.
This is personally one of my favourite songs on the record as well. I love how just ballsy those guitars are. I don't know, it's just really kind of like quite a sexy song, you know, like it's quite like, you know, the groove is there and there's some really cool like guitar bits, and everything just sounds so powerful in this song. And so I don't really have anything to say other than that.
It is sexy.
It is a sexy song.
It's sexy.
I wanna be the only one.
this is like maybe the second song ever, if I'm right, where we've gone back into a third verse after the bridge, rather than just going for a final chorus.
Oh yeah.
Don't you notice that? I don't know what the other song is. I swear we've done one more where we've done that, but this is the only like other one we ever done like once or twice.
I really like. It's like a little reprise. It's really cool. It kind of goes back because it's like a little bit different. Like it's a little bit naughty, bit of a cheeky third verse. Oh.
Oh, where did you come from? Oh, hello.
That track. That track was called Lemonade for the longest time, and
Should have stayed that.
yeah, there's much debate as to whether it should have stayed Lemonade or
Yeah. Cool.
Next
Next
song.
one is Yumi and the Class War.
One of my favorites.
I'm getting bored of waking up alone. Come home drunk and you smash your phone. Eyes so red, what have you done? But it's no surprise, it's no surprise at all. It's no surprise, it's no surprise at all. What would you say?
What was the working title of this song?
Blonde.
Blonde. Yeah, I used to get Blonde and Lemonade confused all the time.
I did as well. I don't know why.
And somehow they've ended up exactly
Next
to
to
each
each
other on the record. But
Yeah.
I'm going to say, this song's going to go off live. Like, I can't wait to play this one live.
Yeah, it's pacey. It's got everything you need in a live-esque setting.
I'm gonna kick the shit out of you live to this, Joe.
Honestly, I want you to.
Been a long week and I'm trying to let loose. It's us and it's up to you, choose.
Yeah, this Yumi and the Class War is one of my faves off the record. Like, hands down, the best bridge we've ever written. That's got to be put in there. Dead fast, pacey. The drums are cut very Biffy style. Everything is just so sick on the song.
Like I said before, I think this song's going to go off live. It's really exciting, and I think I love the understated choruses in this song. You know, there's a lot of like loud verses, and we've kind of just flipped it on the head, so it's loud verses and quieter choruses, which is something a little bit more interesting that we've done.
Yeah, that chorus is really unusual. I can't think of many other songs like it because it's just so like held back, and it almost sounds like it's like a pre-chorus, and you keep waiting for this thing that doesn't ever happen, which I really like doing. But I love that kind of
chorus.
Also, the coolest bit in that fucking song is right after the first chorus, and it just goes back into that. I wish the whole song was just that. It's fucking sick.
Could do a whole song like that. It'd be so dope.
Proper like
Queens of
Stone Age, yeah. Sick. You mean the Class War? The name was stolen from, or a nod to the album Yumi and the Violence by Birds in Row, which is a really great album that you should check out if you don't know it. It's a French band.
This next song is called Playing God. Yeah, so this song, Playing God, is one of my favorites on the album. I really like the drum beat and how it's completely different to, I think, like pretty much everything we've ever done. It's really cool and really quite loose and groovy. And I just love like just the big heavy riff with the lower octave guitar in it as well. This song just smashes. Great chorus as well.
My favourite part of the song was actually recording that old organ. Remember at the start, Ash? We were like,
Oh yeah,
"Oh, look,
that was sick.
And then we had to wait till Sapone went home, didn't we, to do it? It's kind of like me, you, and Brett. We're like, right, let's quickly go in there and record it sneakily.
Just to see if he'd notice or not.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, that sounds amazing. What have you done? It's like, nothing, man. Just it's all you, man.
I think it was one of the earlier ones that we were writing, and one of the tracks that changed the least, I think, from the original conception. And I think I don't know. I think that might be like one of the, I guess, like purest kind of like Boston Manor kind of songs and ideas that we had right from the very start. And all this is going on the album almost as it is, you know. And I think it's one of my favorites as well. George, do you want to talk about the bridge?
Oh, first I want to actually talk about the beat, like, because if there's any drummers out there, like, it's kind of simple, but it's kind of not. Like, there's only ever one part of the kit playing at any one time, and got to give credit where it's due. Ash was the one that came up with the beat. So yeah, it sounds sick, and once you actually nail it, it's kind of rewarding and kind of satisfying once you've got it. But yeah, that and the bridge as well. What did we do? We took a 3/4 beat and overlaid that on the normal verse beat with a load of effects. And
yeah, I think it was 3 rounds of 7/8 and then 1 round of 4/4, and it just kept doing that. And then we added the overlay as well, which was the original verse beat.
Yeah, and it kind of sounds crazy, but it works in the best way.
Yeah, recording that was really fun to try and nail. But once we all got it in the pocket, it was like really, like George said, just rewarding.
Yeah.
Dude, the guitars in that bridge sound so beefy. It's probably my favorite like tone on the guitars in the whole album.
Easily, I think I agree as well. Yeah, straight up.
Sounds amazing.
I remember saying this in the studio, but like, I was honestly like so impressed with the drumming on this record. I think the drumming definitely takes a front seat in a lot of the parts in this record, and I think George had to. I think you challenged yourself, and you went way further than you even thought was possible with the drumming on this record. I was really impressed. It's definitely some of my favorites.
I was more impressed with you guys, to be fair, because in all the other albums we've done, like quite a lot of the drums you've obviously had an input, but not as much as it has in this last record. Like on the other 2 records, it was mostly me, and then you guys chipped in, and then I changed bits where it was possible. But quite a lot of actually, well, not all of it obviously, but quite a lot was already kind of there and kind of suggested by you guys before I'd even had the chance to even get on a kit and try stuff. So that was kind of a different thing, and it worked out well. And it's another experience that we can all jump in on different other people's parts and come up with something better than what just one person can.
It's amazing that I think because we all fully just trust each other, because I know you guys, we all want the same thing and we're all chasing that same goal, and yeah, I think we all just trust each other as musicians. It's really cool.
Brand new kids.
Brand new kids. What a story.
Flesh and smooth, your poetry and song, leave nothing on the bone. Your apple never spoils. Time's infinite, and so is my kiss. You're swimming in the stars, you're swimming in the blaze. I gotta get out of bed because I'm floating away, just like a hole in the head. I know I'm falling down, don't wanna hit the ground.
Brand New Kids was a track that we recorded with Liquid in a different session from Glue. It was recorded at Sonic Ranch in El Paso, Texas, at the front end of 2019. January or February? can't remember.
February.
Yeah, February. And yeah, so it was written and recorded before a lot of Blue had even been conceived. And we were going to put it out last year. It was going to be Liquid, and then like a month or two later, Brand New Kids. And then for whatever reason, bureaucracy and tour dates and all that, you know, behind the scenes bullshit happened, and it didn't end up getting released. And we were actually going back and forth for a little while on whether or not it should even make it on Glue, because we're like, you know, we'd written like On a High Ledge and stuff like that, and we were like, oh, is it not quite, is it going to fit in, is it cohesive? And this is before we'd written like maybe before we'd written like Plasticine Dreams, but before we could see the full picture of the record, so that we could see that it would end up fitting in like a little jigsaw piece. But at the time we had all these kind of heavier, darker songs, and then we had this just like feel good rock song. But yeah, I'm really glad that it did end up making the record. I think it's a really good song, and I think we'd almost sort of like forgotten about it a little bit, because we'd sat with it for so long. So when we were recording, we were just sort of like, oh yeah, that's just an old song. But we actually sat back and listened to it towards the end of the recording process, and we were like, yeah, we'd be stupid not to put this on the record.
I still think it's one of my favourites, to be fair. Even when we recorded it, like, I wanted this song to be the first single rather than Liquid. But obviously the things didn't happen, didn't come out when it was supposed to. But yeah, no, I still think it fits. I think we all do. It fits a lot, and it works very well still. And it's a really good
I actually wish that we'd released it. If we only got to pick one of the two, I kind of, maybe it's just grass is greener, but I kind of wish that we'd picked Brand New Kids in a way. Because I'm just pretty buzzing to play that live. I think it's just going to sit really well in the live setting.
Would you say that this is more, Brand New Kids to me anyway, would be more of a standard Boston Manor rock song?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, just, you know, normal standard stuff.
Next one is Rat King.
Rat King.
Slam the door one more time, I swear to God. If you want to change the world, you're doing it wrong. You always knew just how to get under my skin.
I thought this was another song that wasn't going to make the cut. I thought this was another song that wasn't going to be on the record. It was just so late in the game. It was super late, and I don't even think any of you guys had heard the new demo, and it just kind of like, I guess it kind of just like felt like it appeared out of nowhere, and it was kind of just like, if it makes it, then it makes it. But then I think like eventually it ended up being one of my favorites as well. Like it's that guitar bit in the pre-chorus I thought was really cool. Used like the whammy wah pedal, and added like a synth over it. I thought that was really kind of like slinky, and the chorus is just absolutely massive as well. But yeah,
I was wrestling with vocals, the verses of this song for ages. Like, I wrote the verses as they are, and then for whatever reason we were kind of like, I don't know why, but we were kind of pushing for something different. Like we kind of wanted it to be a bit like louder and more upbeat. Maybe not upbeat, but more in your face. And I remember sitting downstairs in the studio for fucking days trying to write a different version of that track, and nothing really sat right. And then we kind of went back to the original, and it just
it was a lot slower as well. It was like half the speed.
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it was half the speed because we were trying to do like more like Halo verse vocals.
Henry, can you explain more about what the video is about?
I don't fucking know what the video's about, dude.
You're the one that made it.
Yeah, I was really stoned.
Was that you, Henry?
You what?
Are you sure it was you that made it, or was it your
Maybe not.
creepy
Maybe
old
not.
ego?
I made it in like a day. I remember, like, I was like, I wonder if I could like make a whole story out of just a load of found footage, which to get license-free found footage is much harder than you would think. And I eventually found it's from a film called Teenagers from Outer Space from the 50s, which is basically just free. Like, it was so poorly received, and nobody owns it anymore, I don't think. It just exists. So I watched it, and you should watch it. It's a fucking dreadful film, but it's really funny. And I kind of just started making this sort of these ominous scenes, and I was just doing it for fun. I was just kind of entertaining myself at the time. And towards the end, I remember coming up with the idea. I was like, what if they just turn into robots? And I remember just like laughing to myself quietly for like an hour while I was like making the end of it, just giggling. And I remember just watching it, going upstairs the next day and watching it, being like, this is really weird. But we'd kind of already done it on a high ledge, and I kind of just wanted something a little bit more jovial to sort of separate the two. And it's just fun, and it was free, so we made it. And I think it's really cool because it does tell a story. If you watch it, it's a weird story, but it tells a story. And then we projected it onto this wall. It's basically a seawall in a car park right on the beach, and it was fucking miserable, wasn't it? Me, Dan, and Mike did it, and it was blowing a gale, and I think that's like nearly the coldest I've been.
It was so cold, wasn't it? So freezing.
It was awful.
Yeah.
But it came out cool for sure. I wish the projection had been a bit brighter, but like,
That looks sick.
yeah.
See all the creepy shadows and stuff. Just walking around.
That was actually us looking for Dan's earring, or no, his ring that he dropped.
Yeah. Thought I lost it forever.
Yeah, stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the murder.
Now I'm stuck in the mud and I don't know what to do. I've got that sinking feeling, I'm calling out to you. And I'm getting older and I know that you are too. But if we could live forever, just show me what to do.
Yeah, this one started off with I just played some chords and wrote like basically the verse and the chorus as it is, and I sort of took it to Mike and we started from there. And then the way we always write is like usually one or two people will start an idea off, get it to where it has legs, and then we'll sit down and pass it around and then work on it and build it together. And then so we started off just with these chords and the song, and that I feel like this is just another, like, a lot of it came out in the studio, but I do feel like it was a fairly natural kind of progression. Sapone definitely helped with like the pacing of it, so that it wasn't too just sort of like verse chorus, build up, final chorus, because we've done that on the last two records on like the slower song, and I didn't want to do that on this track. So I think this song has its own sort of like pace. It's very evenly paced throughout, and I really like that. I think the drums on it are super cool.
808s.
Yeah, and it really moves the song around kind of nicely. It's just kind of a sad song about feeling alone, and when you're a bit too old to sort of, you're supposed to kind of have it all figured out, and then you kind of don't, and it would be quite humbling. Everyone kind of comes to that point at some point and feel like you just want to be a kid again.
I really like the vocal performance on this song. It's just like, it's very like stripped back piano, and then you just like your voice kind of takes the front, and it's just very like honest, and I really like that, to be honest, of this song.
Yeah, it's quite straightforward, isn't it? It tells the story itself. I really like it. I really want to play it live. I think it's going to be like a really big song live, and it's just that it's a sing-along song really. So I hope that if people do like this song, that we can break it out at a festival or a live show, and everyone can kind of join in, because that's kind of what it needs. Like I wrote that with that in mind, like everybody kind of singing along. So
Next song.
Yes.
Liquid.
What do you guys think about Liquid? What do you guys think about this song?
Liquid was probably like the hardest song we've ever like written, to be honest. It was like months. It felt like months or even years, like creating this song, which was like a completely different song to begin with.
I hated the recording process.
The whole thing was just like
whole writing process for it.
I think it's hard because it's a 4. So I think across the board it's like a 4-chord song, and like I think if you're trying to make a song that's already quite basic to sound a little bit more interesting, you've just got to go through all the different processes to try and like bring that song into its own thing, instead of it just being like a, you know, just like a run-of-the-mill 4-chord like track.
It was like bordering on dad rock, wasn't it? Like
It was,
the original
yeah.
title was Vultures, and it was just like in its original kind of version, it was flipping 3 Days Grace.
We should totally release that as a joke.
I like the original version. I thought it was sick. I loved it. And it was like a fucking nip.
It was like Nickelback. I mean, would have been great on alt radio, but I think it just wasn't us. You know, no disrespect to any of those bands, but it just wasn't what we were going for. So I think when we coloured it in the studio, I think it came out pretty good. And then we also got John Floriani from Trophy Eyes to sing on it as well, and that was really cool to have that collaboration happening as well, because we've been friends with those guys for such a long time. And
yeah, he emailed us the WAV and his like stem, vocal stem, and it was just all like. Last track, Monolith.
I can't scratch the edge, can't crawl out of the crater. I can't quench the thirst, cut myself on the paper.
we're like, what's the record missing? We're like, maybe a heavy song, and then we just like, let's just fucking write a heavy song, and then we just wrote a heavy song, and that it just turned out like that. I think
there's a lot of remnants from Welcome to the Neighborhood in that song. You know, it's almost a bit like Hate You Part 2, and I think like some of the like the 80s style kind of synth in the verses and stuff, I think is a little bit like reminiscent of Welcome to the Neighborhood. So it's a little bit of a flavour from that album.
Kind of tunnel vision-y.
Yeah.
Or is it Hate You? A bit of both.
Yeah.
Me and Henry added a little cheeky piano thing at the end, a little Easter egg as well.
Do we?
Yeah. He doesn't even know about it.
I can't even think what it is. Mate, that whole recording process is such a blur. I don't remember any of it. I remember eating noodles every day and playing Mortal Kombat, and that's all I remember from that whole thing.
Maybe I'm too late. I don't know what to say. Hey, you, fuck you too. I'll do what I want when I want to. Father, you got it all. Like you can never need some more. Hey, you, fuck you too. I'll do what I want when I want to. Father, you got it all. Like you can never need some more.
I think it's one of the catchiest choruses on the record, to be honest. Still, when you wrote that chorus ages ago, and you were like so like up in the air about it, like umming and ahhing about it, and I was always for it, and everyone was. Some people were for it, some people weren't. But I'm just glad it actually stayed the same, to be fair, because there was a lot of like need to change it, blah blah blah. I'm just glad it stayed, because I think it's going to be very good live, and it's going to be very crowd interactive as well, that chorus.
Hey, you, fuck you too. I'll do what I want when I want to. You already got it all. I think you never need some more.
I love the ending of the song, though. I think it's the perfect way to round the whole album up.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think from the jump we were all like, yeah, that's the last track on the record. Like,
Yeah.
that was really easy for us to decide. It just sounds like a cool closing.
I think like, because we were talking about how the the lyrics and stuff in the chorus was kind of like, I guess it was kind of crass, you know, for lack of a better word, crass. But I feel like there was no other way to kind of to say that, to say those lyrics. And I think it's just a really fun song where I think, you know, you can't take yourself too seriously as like when you're in a band sometimes, because, you know, you're in a band. And I think sometimes you've got to write those songs. It's just a lot of fun to sing, and then, you know, for the crowd to participate in that as well. I think it'll do really well live. So yeah, I'm happy with the way that song turned out.
I think we've said every single song would do really well live.
But it's a fucking rager of an album, man. Right, thanks so much for listening to this, watching this. If you've been tweeting us and stuff, thank you. I hope we managed to reply to a bunch of your tweets. Obviously, this is pre-recorded, but we've been active on the Twitter account, tweeting you and stuff. Yeah, Glue, if we've timed this correctly, Glue is out pretty much now or in the next hour. So a lot of blood, sweat and tears have gone into making this record. It's we think our best record to date, and a definitive record for us. I'm sorry that the tour got pushed back, but everyone's in the same boat with that. I would love to be in Southampton right now rocking a gig, but that's it. But hopefully we'll still see you in August. Please buy the record if you can, if not stream it. But the most important thing is show somebody the album if you think they might like it, because you know, sharing music makes the world go around. Yeah, thanks for watching us ramble. As you can see, we're not the best public speakers, but that's it. Yeah.